movie begins with a librarian at the New York Public Library experiencing strange and terrifying paranormal activity in the library's basement. As she tries to reshelf books, she notices them moving on their own and card catalogs opening and spilling their contents. Eventually, she sees a ghostly apparition that frightens her. At the Parapsychology Department of Columbia University, Dr. Peter Venkman conducts an experiment on psychic ability involving electric shocks. He flirts with an attractive female student while shocking a male student who eventually gets fed up and storms off, expressing his frustration with the experiment and Venkman's methods. Venkman's attempt to flirt with the female student are interrupted by Ray, who excitedly informs him of a ghost sighting at the New York Public Library. Despite Venkman's reluctance, Ray insists that they investigate, citing significant readings on their equipment and the eyewitness accounts. Ray convinces Venkman to join them, emphasizing the importance of the discovery. Venkman expresses his skepticism about the ghost sighting, believing it to be another false alarm in their pursuit of paranormal experiences. Ray, undeterred, reminds Venkman of their previous encounters with unexplained phenomena, including an undersea sponge migration. Despite Venkman's reluctance, Ray insists they investigate the library ghost sighting. Venkman, Ray, and Egon meet with Roger Delacourt, who believes they're from the university. Egon expresses his excitement about the potential discovery, comparing it to a previous experiment involving drilling a hole through his head. Roger hopes they can resolve the situation quickly and quietly, but Venkman suggests taking their time to understand the situation fully. The team interviews the traumatized librarian, Alice, who describes the ghostly encounter. Venkman asks her standard questions, including whether she or her family have a history of mental illness or drug use. Ray and Egon, along with their colleague Peter, venture into the basement of a library where they saw a ghostly apparition resembling a librarian. As they observe the environment, Ray notes the unusual symmetrical book stacking, reminiscent of an event from 1947, indicating paranormal activity. Egon discovers ectoplasmic residue, which they decide to collect for analysis. The ghost remains motionless until Peter attempts to communicate with it, asking where it's from. When the ghost doesn't respond, Peter decides to take action, instructing the others to follow his lead. He counts down, and they attempt to capture the ghost. However, the ghost transforms into a terrifying demon-like creature, causing the scientist to panic and flee the scene. Egon, ever the scientist, is excited by the potential implications of their findings. He reveals that his readings suggest it may be possible to capture and contain a ghost indefinitely. Upon returning to their laboratory at Columbia University, the three scientists, Peter, Ray, and Egon, are met with bad news. Dean Yeager informs them that their research grant has been terminated and they're being evicted from the premises. Despite their protests, the dean criticizes their unconventional research methods and reputation, stating that their work is not in line with what the university's standards for scientific inquiry. He accuses Peter of treating science as a hustle and labels their theories as trivial and their methods as sloppy. The dean concludes that they have no place in the department or the university, leaving the team without a base for their research and forcing them to reconsider their future endeavors. After their expulsion from Columbia University, Egon and Ray are disheartened, with Ray lamenting the blow to their academic reputations. Venkman, on the other hand, sees this as an opportunity. He proposes that they use Egon's research to construct a ghost containment unit and start their own business specializing in hunting and capturing ghosts. Ray expresses his fondness for the university's support, which allowed them to research without the pressure of producing results. Venkman contrasts this with his experience in the private sector, where results are expected. He suggests that their expulsion might be a stroke of fate or karma, leading them to their true calling. Dana returns to her apartment. She found her neighbor, Lewis, who awkwardly tries to engage her in conversation. Lewis, who has a crush on Dana, mentions his recent workout routine and invites her in for mineral water. Dana politely declines. Lewis then mentions that he's hosting a party for his clients to celebrate his 4th anniversary as an accountant, and he invites Dana, even though she does her own taxes. He also advises her not to leave her TV on so loud, revealing that he'd try to fix the situation in a peculiar way. After parting ways with Lewis, Dana enters her kitchen to put away groceries. To her astonishment, she witnesses a carton of eggs cooking themselves on her kitchen counter. Startled by a growling sound coming from her refrigerator, Dana opens the door. Instead of finding her usual groceries, she saw the interior of her fridge has transformed into a gateway to a strange, otherworldly dimension. This landscape is inhabited by menacing dog-like creatures. As she peers into this alternative realm, one of the creatures locks eyes with her and shouted the name Zul. After her terrifying encounter with the portal in her refrigerator, Dana flees her apartment and seeks help from the Ghostbusters, having seen their commercial on TV. Attracted to Dana, Venkman eagerly agrees to investigate her case. When Dana arrives at the Ghostbusters office, she's initially met with skepticism from Venkman, who jokes about the unusual nature of her claim. However, Egon confirms that Dana genuinely believes her story, prompting the team to consider various paranormal explanations. Venkman suggests that Dana's experience could be a past life intrusion, a memory from the collective unconscious, clairvoyance, or telepathic contact, though he admits he doesn't believe in those theories. The team plans to research the structural history of Dana's building and looks up the name Zul in paranormal literature. Venkman offers to personally accompany Dana back to her apartment to further investigate the phenomenon, hinting at his interest in her. The scene sets the stage for the Ghostbusters' involvement in the unfolding supernatural events, and Venkman's developing attraction to Dana. When Venkman and Dana arrive at her apartment to investigate, they find no evidence of paranormal activity. Venkman's flippant attitude and flirtatious attempts annoy Dana, especially when he dismisses her concerns about the strange occurrences in her kitchen. Despite Venkman's unprofessional behavior, he insists that he can solve her problem, but Dana is unconvinced and ultimately asks him to leave. The Ghostbusters receive their first job from the Sedgwick Hotel, where a green ghost is scaring guests. Despite their financial troubles, they eagerly take on the task. At the hotel, they learn that the 12th floor has a history of disturbances, but the situation has recently escalated. The staff has kept it quiet, fearing the owner's reaction. The Ghostbusters assure them that they can handle the situation discreetly, and set out to tackle their first official ghost hunting assignment. Equipped with proton packs and ghost traps, the Ghostbusters pursue Slimer through the Sedgwick Hotel. Egon warns not to cross the streams of their packs due to dangerous consequences. After Venkman gets slimed by Slimer, they corner it in the ballroom and successfully trap it, causing significant property damage in the process. Their victory at the hotel turns them into local celebrities, despite the expensive damages. As the Ghostbusters' workload increases, they decide to hire a fourth member, Winston. Winston's asked if he believes in various paranormal phenomena, to which he pragmatically responds that he's open to believe anything if it means a steady paycheck. His practical attitude and readiness to work earn him a quick welcome to the team. While walking with a friend, Dana saw Venkman and greets him. She asks about her case, and Venkman shares his discovery that Zul is a minion of Gozer, an ancient Sumerian demigod. Dana agrees to meet him for a date to discuss the findings further. Peter is giving Winston a tour of their ghost containment system. He explains the process of storing trapped ghosts, which involves inserting a loaded trap into the system, securing it, and then neutralizing the field. Once the light turns green, it indicates that the trap is clean, and the ghost is securely held in their custom-made storage facility. Walter, a representative from EPA, who's skeptical about their activities, came to visit the Ghostbusters. He visits their office, questioning the legality and safety of the ghost containment system. Peck demands to see the facility, mentioning concerns about environmental impact and hazardous waste. Venkman refuses to grant access without a court order, leading to a standoff between the Ghostbusters and the EPA. Dana returns to her apartment and finds her neighbor Lewis, who invites her to his party. Dana declines, mentioning she has a date. Inside her apartment, she talks on the phone with her mother, discussing her plans and mentioning her date with a Ghostbuster. As the conversation ends, Dana is suddenly attacked by one of the dog-like demons that she previously saw in her refrigerator. Meanwhile, at Lewis's party, another dog-like demon attacks, causing chaos among the guests. Lewis manages to escape the apartment and wander on the streets. When Venkman arrives at Dana's apartment for their date, he finds that she's been possessed by Zuul, who identified herself as the Gatekeeper. Mistaking Venkman for the Keymaster, Dana/Zuul attempts to seduce him, but Venkman resists her advances. He tranquilizes her after witnessing her growling, snarling, and levitating above her bed. Despite his efforts to communicate with the real Dana, Zuul maintains control, insisting that there is no Dana, only Zuul. Lewis, now possessed by Vince Clortho, the Keymaster, roams the streets of New York, ranting about the impending apocalypse and searching for the Gatekeeper. A police officer picked him up and took him to the Ghostbusters. Venkman called Egon and told him what happened with Dana, and Egon told him about Lewis too. Walter Peck arrives with court order, insisting that the Ghostbusters deactivate their containment grid and halt their operations. Ignoring Egon's cautionary pleas and the technician's hesitation to interfere with the machinery, Peck forcefully orders the shutdown of the system. As a result, the containment grid bursts, unleashing the captured ghosts and sparking widespread supernatural havoc across the city. In the aftermath, Peck tries to hold the Ghostbusters accountable for the explosion and ensuing chaos. In jail, the Ghostbusters discover that Dana's building was designed by Ivo Shandor, an architect and cult leader who believed society was beyond redemption after World War I. Shandor and his followers conducted rituals on the building's roof to summon Gozer, with the structure acting as a superconductive antenna for paranormal energy. Meanwhile, Lewis/Vince reaches Central Park West and reunites with Dana/Zuul, sharing a passionate embrace. The Ghostbusters realize that they must act quickly, as something catastrophic is poised to enter the world through the building, which serves as a portal. Lewis finally met Dana, and they kissed. The mayor, faced with escalating chaos in the city, consults with the Ghostbusters and Walter Peck. Despite Peck's claims that the Ghostbusters are frauds, the team convinces the mayor of the impending apocalyptic threat. They argue that hiring them to address the situation could secure his re-election. The mayor, swayed by their argument and the unusual phenomena occurring in the city, dismisses Peck and arranges for the Ghostbusters to be escorted by police and the National Guard to the affected building. The Ghostbusters go inside the building and head to the top, where Dana's apartment used to be. They find stairs going up to a temple on the roof. At the temple, Dana and Lewis, now changed into demons, open a big door. A woman with red eyes, who Egon says is Gozer, comes through the door from another world. Ray tries to talk and make Gozer go back, but she attacks them. After the Ghostbusters attack Gozer with their proton packs, she seems to vanish. However, a loud voice then asks them to choose how the world will be destroyed. Venkman tells everyone not to think of anything, so Gozer can't take a form. But Ray accidentally thinks of something harmless from his childhood, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Suddenly, a giant version of the marshmallow mascot appears and starts walking towards the building, ready to cause destruction. When attacking Gozer's marshmallow form doesn't work, Egon comes up with a risky plan. He suggests crossing the streams of their proton packs to create a big energy surge that will close the gateway to Gozer's world. They do this, and it causes a massive explosion that destroys the building's roof and gets rid of Gozer and its helpers. Luckily, the Ghostbusters find a safe spot and make it through the explosion unharmed. The evil forms of Dana and Lewis are gone, but they're both okay inside and no longer possessed. They can't remember anything that happened. Dana and Venkman kissed. The Ghostbusters are celebrated as heroes by the people in the street for saving the city and the world. As they leave in their car, nobody seems to notice that Slimer, the green ghost, is loose again. Ho ho ho, an absolute classic. You may have already known what you were going to get from the Ghostbusters movie, but I appreciate you watching the movie recap anyways. What's your favorite scene from the Ghostbusters? Let me know in the comment section below. And hey, while you're at it, make sure you're subscribed to our channel and click the like button on this video. If you want to keep binging more movie recaps, then make sure you click that video that's on screen now. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next movie recap.